This is an iHeart podcast.
You know who it is, Brandon Kyle Goodman. But this Pride Month, call me Messy Mother. On my podcast, Tell Me Something Messy, I'm diving into all the juicy stories and sizzling hot tea that'll make you want to live your life liberated and free. Nothing is off the table for our messy kikis. Plus, I'll be joined by star-studded guests like T.S. Madison and dragging messy stories out of guests like the one and only Katya. Ooh, I can't wait to get messy with you. Listen to Tell Me Something Messy on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Show me how good it can get today, God, and show the rest of the world what we already know. It can't get no better than being hella black, hella queer, and hella Christian. My name is Joseph Reeves. I am the creator and host of Hella Black, Hella Queer, Hella Christian, a fully black, fully queer, fully human, fully divine podcast from iHeartMedia. To Hella Black, Hella Queer, Hella Christian on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
I also want to address the Tonys.
On a recent episode of Checking In with Michelle Williams, I open up about feeling snubbed by the Tony Awards. Do I?
I was never mad. I was disappointed because I had high hopes.
To hear this and more on disappointment and protecting your peace, listen to Checking In with Michelle Williams from the Black Effect Podcast Network on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
What up, y'all? This your main man, Memphis Bleak, right here, host the Rock Solid Podcast. June is Black Music Month, so what better way to celebrate than listening to my exclusive conversation with my bro, Ja Rule.
The one thing they can't stop you or take away from you is knowledge. So whatever I went through while I was down in prison for 2 years, through that process, learn from it.
Check out this exclusive episode with Ja Rule on Rock Solid. Open your free iHeartRadio app, search Rock Solid, and listen now.
Hi guys, I'm Andrea Gunning, host of Betrayal. I'm excited to bring you all Season 4, a story of a cop and his double life. I wanted to let you know that you can get access to all episodes of Betrayal Season 1, 2, 3, and Betrayal Weekly, and every single episode of Betrayal Season 4 ad-free with an iHeart True Crime Plus subscription, available exclusively on Apple Podcasts. Plus, you'll get access to all episodes of Betrayal Season 4 1 week ahead of everyone else, available only to iHeart True Crime Plus subscribers. So don't wait. Head to Apple Podcasts, search for iHeart True Crime Plus, and subscribe today.
Well, guys, it's time now for today's Strawberry Letter. And listen, if you need advice on relationships, dating, work, sex, parenting, and more, please submit your Strawberry Letter to steveharveyfm.com and just click Submit Strawberry Letter. And we could be reading your letter live on the air, just like we're going to read this one right here, right now. Okay?
Buckle up and hold on tight. We got it for you. Here it is, the Strawberry Letter.
Thank you, nephew. Subject, I don't think we're really cousins. Dear Steve and Shirley, in high school, I liked a girl and she liked me. We talked on the phone and hung out together all the time, and her mom and my mom were close too. So she always was at my house or I was at hers. By the time we graduated from high school, we were even closer, and I told her that I wanted her to be more than my friend. She's always been really close to her mom and tells her everything. So she told her mom that she and I were dating. Her mom told her that I was her cousin. When she told me we were related, I felt strange because we had kissed a few times. We never questioned it, though. We stopped dating and remained very close cousins. We still did everything together and told each other everything. And by the time we were in our mid-20s, we had both had a bunch of bad relationships and always ended up back together. I realized that I loved my quote-unquote cousin, and she's a perfect woman for me, so I finally asked my mom if we were really related. My mom said we're related somewhere down the line, but there is no way for us to find out now because all of the older relatives are deceased. I told my mom that I'm in love with her and I want to be with her. My mom told me to follow my heart. I couldn't wait to tell my cousin how I really felt, and I was relieved when she told me she's been in love with me forever. Since then, we've made love a few times, and I asked her to marry me. She wants to do a search of our family tree first. I don't think we're cousins, and this is only postponing our happiness. Should we search for answers or not? Well, I'm with you on this one. I don't know. I just don't believe your guys are cousins. I think maybe, her mom told her that because she didn't want you guys dating for whatever reason. And, I don't want you guys, not because I don't want it to be true or anything. I just don't believe your mom. Both of them are telling the truth. Even your mom said you were related somewhere down the line. She didn't even know. And she said there's no one in your family to validate it. But I mean, there are ways you can search to find out. It's just, I don't know, suspicious the way they handled everything and the way they told you. And for that very reason, yes, I think you should find out if you're related. I think you should do the search. I mean, knowledge is power. The truth will set you free. What if you want to have children down the line? This is something you should know, whether or not you're related. There's a lot to consider. You need the facts so you can make an informed, a clear-headed, right decision, and nothing just based on your emotions like your mom told you just to follow your heart. It sounds like you don't care, though, if you're cousins or not, and your mom certainly doesn't care. But your girl wants to know, and it's important to her. So I think you should do the search. And, whatever you guys find out, let the chips fall, where they may. I don't think you're really cousins. I don't know. And if you find out that you're not, then you can move forward. Steve?
Well, this is a short response for me because I don't even understand. There's no advice to give in this letter. Like, normally I have section where I break down what somebody said and what the other person said. There's none of that in here.
And he just wants to know, should they search? That's his question anyway.
It ain't about that. To me, if your mother, if the woman that she's really close to, and y'all been over each other's house, if that ain't your mother's sister, and that woman that's not your mother's sister, this girl that you're dating, and okay, let me put it. The woman and your mama are not sisters.
Right.
And then her daughter is the woman you love. Mm-hmm. That ain't your cousin. So now that's established right there. Now, this y'all cousin somewhere down the line, black people know what's happening.
How far
I don't
is
give
the
a damn
line?
if all of them is dead. Black people know what's happening. Mm-hmm. Now, what didn't happen is one of the men in the family is strayed off somewhere, had a child out of wedlock, and one of your aunts or mamas is them. Now, everybody dead stuff. Y'all got Bibles. Open up them old Bibles and read who. You ain't gonna see your name in there.
Well,
now, once you don't see your name, this is an open and shut case. They know all the old people dead. Well, man. So what are we talking about here? So I don't really think it's a case of, if you do the search, what you gonna find? You're not gonna find anything.
And
you in love with the girl. She in love with the girl. I mean, she in love with you. I mean, what?
At least they would know. What if they want kids? They're too far down the line for that to affect anything, you're saying?
I think they're way, way down the line. I don't even know if they're on the line.
Once removed,
Let me tell you something. If it was something dangerous, the boy's mother would not have said, follow your heart.
But the other mother was the one that said they're cousins. I think she said it because she didn't want them to date.
She just said that. Well, okay, tell her mama, go ask her mama how.
But
she can't even tell how these other two is related. The two women, what's their relationship?
They're just really close. It'll only
okay, well that ain't your cousin.
Really yeah.
But they did it. You do know they did it, right?
Yeah, it's in the letter.
They said it in the letter.
Yeah, it's in the letter. Okay, we'll have part 2 of Steve's response coming up at 23 minutes after the hour. Subject, I don't think we're really cousins. We'll get back into it right after this.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
You know who it is, Brandon Kyle Goodman. But this Pride Month, call me Messy Mother. On my podcast, Tell Me Something Messy, I'm diving into all the juicy stories and sizzling hot tea that'll make you want to live your life liberated and free. Nothing is off the table for our messy kikis, be it cringy dates, best sex practices, family drama, or cultivating self-love. Plus, I'll be joined by star-studded guests like T.S. Madison. How can we not judge ourselves?
You just gotta tell yourself, like, girl, how old are you, bitch? And I love me a lot because
you do.
Bitch, I love these motherfucking back rolls. What are this? Back rolls.
Back rolls. And dragging messy stories out of guests like the one and only Katya.
I also got into the habit of wearing butt plugs to the gym.
Tell me about that.
Well, and I also work out with butt plugs in quite a bit because, like,
tell me everything.
Well, it's just first, it feels good.
Yes.
And then second, it's like my little secret.
TMI, please tell me more. Every week, we'll create a compassionate space to share the fullness of who we are. Ooh, I can't wait to get messy with you. Listen to Tell Me Something Messy on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Show me how good it can get today, God, and show the rest of the world what we already know. It can't get no better than being hella black, hella queer, and hella Christian. My name is Joseph Reeves. I am the creator and host of Hella Black, Hella Queer, Hella Christian, a fully black, fully queer, fully human, fully divine podcast that explores society, culture, and the intersections of faith and identity. Listen to Hella Black, Hella Queer, Hella Christian to hear conversations about what it means to sound the way you look.
I think what I've had to make peace with is that every iteration of my voice is given to me by God, and I love it.
Books that validated our identity.
The library now for me is a safe space as someone who is writing books that they're trying to take off of shelves.
And how we as black queer folks relate to our Christianity. Listen to Hella Black, Hella Queer, Hella Christian on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm Erin Welsh, an ecologist and epidemiologist.
And I'm Erin Allman-Updike, also an epidemiologist.
On our show, This Podcast Will Kill You, we cover everything from the biology of deadly diseases to the weird history behind them, all with a healthy dose of humor.
Like the time we made a surprising discovery about scabies. When you look at pictures of, especially these particular mites, they look more like tardigrades, like water bears, than they do ticks.
Absolutely do, yeah.
They're kind of cute.
Or when we used a classic movie reference to explain allergy tests.
An allergist will inject teeny tiny amounts of the thing that they're allergic to underneath their skin.
It's just like iocane powder in The Princess Bride, but it works.
And our COVID-19 series was even added to the CDC Museum archives. So need I say more?
New episodes drop every Tuesday on the Exactly Right Network.
Listen to This Podcast Will Kill You on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
We are telling our scientists today, we have disdain for your expertise. And then you have China as an exception saying, actually, we're going to invest $1 trillion in new science.
Yeah, you heard that right. While the U.S. is cutting billions from science and public health, China is making historic investments. That means here in the U.S., fewer breakthroughs, slower medical advances, and a serious risk of falling behind globally.
I don't think anything about that is efficient. I think that it is actually profoundly inefficient.
And she would know. Chelsea Clinton is using her expertise in public health to break down what these cuts really mean and why protecting science isn't just smart policy, it's a necessity.
This week on Dope Labs, we're putting it all under the microscope with Chelsea Clinton, diving into what's at stake for science, medicine, and our future.
Listen to Dope Labs on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
So what happened at Chappaquiddick? Well, it really depends on who you talk to.
There are many versions of what happened in 1969 when a young Ted Kennedy drove a car into a pond.
And left a woman behind to drown.
There's a famous headline, I think in the New York Daily News, it's Teddy escapes, blonde drowns. And in a strange way, right, that sort of tells you the story really became about Ted's political future, Ted's political hopes. Will Ted become president?
Chappaquiddick is a story of a tragic death and how the Kennedy machine took control.
And he's not the only Kennedy to survive a scandal.
The Kennedys have lived through disgrace, affairs, violence, you name it. So is there a curse? Every week we go behind the headlines and beyond the drama drama of America's royal family.
Listen to United States of Kennedy starting June 30th on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Do you think astronauts fight over elbow room? Probably, because advanced tech doesn't always mean more space. Until now. Introducing the Hyundai Ioniq 9, a 3-row electric SUV with over 300 miles of range, ultra-fast charging capability, and lots of space.
The all-new Hyundai Ioniq 9. Space in an EV. Visit HyundaiUSA.com for more details. EPA estimated range for Ioniq 9 based on fully charged batteries for comparison purpose only. Actual range will vary based on several factors.
All right, come on, Steve. Let's recap today's interesting strawberry letter. Subject, I don't think we're really cousins.
All right. This guy was in high school and he liked a girl, and she liked him. They talked on the phone, hung out together all the time.
Yeah.
Her mom and my mom were close too. So she was always at my house. Never once in this letter does it say her mom and his mom was related. By the time they graduated high school, we were even closer. I told her I want to be more than friends. She's always been really close to her mom and tells everything, so she told her mom she and I were dating. Her mom told her I was her cousin. But your mama ain't related to the boy's mama.
They're just close.
So now where'd that come from? When she told me we were related, I felt strange because I had kissed a few times. We never questioned it though. We stopped dating and remained close. Everything together. Then they went through a bunch of bad relationships and always ended up back together. And then he said, I realized I love my cousin. And she's a perfect woman for me. So this dude go and ask his mom if they really related. The mother said, y'all related somewhere down the line. But ain't no way to find out because all the older relatives are dead.
Well, you can find out.
In the line.
What? Well, okay, what is we talking about this for? I told my mom that I'm in love with her and I want to be with her. My mom told me to follow my heart. So then he ran and told the girl, who is he thinks his cousin, how he really felt. And he was relieved when she told me she been in love with me forever. Well, then since then, they'd have made love a few times. Yeah. And I asked her to marry me.
Yeah.
She wants to do a search of our family tree first because she don't want to come up and get embarrassed, you know. Then half these people you think is dead going to show up at the wedding. Well, ain't this strange? You know, I'm Esther and Gertrude's niece.
I'm your cousin.
You know, Frederick was your uncle, great uncle. Frederick Douglass. Boy, you got an afro just like him. You're beautiful. So she wants to do a search and to think. And he said, I don't think we're cousins. And this is only postponing our happiness. Should we search for answers or not? Okay, let me explain something to you, son. When you get through searching, it ain't gonna change one thing you feel about this girl.
Come on, boy.
When you get through searching, it ain't gonna erase the fact that y'all in love with each other and y'all been together. It ain't gonna erase nothing, no matter what the search say. And if you find out you somewhere way down the line, how far down the line is it? Now, how many people got to die?
Steve.
Well, all your evidence is dead.
Down the line is dead.
But your mother and her mother ain't even related. So what are y'all talking about?
See, I think her mother didn't want them to date because immediately when she told him that, they stopped dating.
If there's no relation between the two friends, well, that could be happening because maybe they just friends and the two kids is in other families.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a possibility. That's why I don't think they're cousins. I don't think it'll hurt anything to do the search.
But see, the problem with that is we talking about two mothers, though. See, once you have mothers involved, it ain't no you ain't in the family.
What you mean?
This woman is the mother of the boy.
The one
other
that said,
mother
follow your heart.
is the mother of the girl.
Right.
So how are these two kids related? How? Am I missing something?
Could it be through marriage? I don't know. I try to figure it out too.
Maybe the two women were married to the same brothers or something, or friends. That could happen, but
I don't think I just don't think they're related.
What's that test you take? Didn't we have that test one time? What is the name of that thing?
Ancestry.com.
Ancestry.
That's it right there. Ancestry.
Oh, I just did one. I just did a test. I just did it.
I've had people do mine for me.
So that's what I'm saying. You don't have to have living relatives, so his mom said everybody's dead to prove whether or not they're cousins.
I can find stuff on my mother's side, but it goes back to my father and it stops.
Oh.
So if down the line ain't here, you can still find out what's going on.
Yeah.
He love her though. What's gonna happen if
she
that's
loves
the
him.
Yeah.
She loves him. She's the one that wants to know. I mean, you do have to consider
Which is
children
smart.
and all of that.
That's smart.
Yeah, you have
That's
to
smart
consider
for her.
children and everything. Are you out, Steve? You done?
Well, I told you, I'm through with it.
Because you got awfully quiet right there.
Yeah, these kids hard to raise anyway. Go on, have them.
Boy, ain't that the truth? You said a mouthful.
Hell yeah,
right
you're going to have
there.
a situation with them if ain't nothing wrong with them.
Yes, Lord.
All right, listen, guys. You can leave your comments on today's letter on Instagram at Steve Harvey FM and check out the Strawberry Letter podcast on demand. Because free never sounded so good, you can download it today. You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
This is an iHeart podcast.